Secretary Ramon Lopez, the guy who introduced me. Mr. Ramon Ang, President and Chief Operating Officer of the San Miguel Corporation, the famous beer of the Ambassador Antonio Morales, the Philippine Ambassador to Singapore, Congressman Rodolfo Farinas, I don't know if he's here, nice to see you, the leader of the House of Representatives, Congressman Lord Alan J. Velasco, Governor Jose Enrique Garcia, Governor Albert Raymond Garcia, Attorney Salvador Panelo, the Presidential Advisor, the Presidential Spokesman Ernesto Abelia, movers and shakers of the finance, petroleum and food industries. I think it's all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I have here a prepared speech. It's a very good one. It encompasses all. There's no more to add. But maybe just a few words about the crawler of BBC and CNN says that I have admitted killing suspects, criminal suspects. Maybe later on, if I have the time, I will make some little corrections so that you know the agony and the suffering of the Filipino people right now. I would like to start by expressing appreciation to Mr. Ramon Ang and San Miguel Corporation and Petron for organizing this business call with all of you. I appreciate this opportunity to tell you of the many developments in the Philippines, and to invite Singapore businesses to partner with us as we pursue the development of innovative, job-generating, and inclusive growth in my country. Much of the crime news comes out from our country has been the war against drugs and crime. A war that has won broad-based support among all socioeconomic classes in the Philippines. It is a war that I believe is absolutely necessary if we are to prevent my country from becoming a narco-politic. Over the last few months, we have improved our peace and order situation. Filipinos today generally feel safer and the crime has remarkably dropped, especially in the urban areas. Our focus in solving peace and order has been rewarded by a GDP of 7.1% growth during the first 3 months of this administration. The Philippines is open for business and welcome what you have to offer. We appreciate that Singapore, our largest trading partner, and our largest source of investments from ASEAN. We are also encouraged that there is increasingly presence of Filipino and Singaporean companies in our two countries, respectively, as the Philippines pursue sustainable growth and development, inclusive growth that are far-reaching out to the even stronger participation of Singaporean and Singapore-based companies in investments in my country. In particular, we are looking at key growth sectors such as energy and infrastructure. This would mean more investments and encouraging competition, putting an end to protectionism in industries that are monopolized. More competition would be only mean better services for all. Philippines' attractiveness as an investment economic destination is cemented with investment pledges from China, Russia, Japan, and Malaysia. The key to maintaining our economic momentum is infrastructure. My administration is committed to raise infrastructure spending to 6 to 7% of the GDP, focusing investment on the bottlenecks, more importantly in transportation. That raises the cost of doing business in the Philippines. Already, we have approved open for investment infrastructure projects worth nearly 20 billion, including a long overdue airport and an international port project. Our economic and business sector continue to be generally upbeat due to a combination of prudent macroeconomic and proportional trade and investment policies. There's much stronger consumer base with 109 million population, relatively young, and with a higher rate of employment. Unemployment rate down to 4.7% from 5.4%. This is what we call our demographic sweet spot in the country, enjoys an all and will continue to benefit from the years to come given the young demographic profile. Consumer propensity to spend is set by generally low inflation, low interest rates. We are determined to cut red tape and make our country more business friendly. Our tax reform package, including reducing income tax for individual and corporations, including the value-added tax base and modernizing fiscal incentives most being employed by the business community and foreign investors. To enhance our competitiveness as we preferred investment destination. Much of our growth has already been fueled by the manufacturing sector, which has revived it to grow at 6.9, higher than the previous averages of 3 and 4. Agricultural sector likewise turned around to 3% growth after several quarters of decline. The services sector continues to grow at the rate of 7%, principally the business process outsourcing industry and telecoms. We must modernize Philippine agriculture, increase our output to high-value crops, streamline our agricultural supply lines, and move towards value-added process agri-business products. In promoting peace and lowering income disparities, we are also looking at dispersing growth outside of Metro Manila and supporting the growth of micro SMEs, which account for 99.6% of all registered enterprises. We are prioritizing the infrastructure spending, increasing the budget to 5 to 7% of GDP. China, Russia, and Japan have expressed interest in participating in several infrastructure projects in the Philippines. The biggest project includes a railway system that would connect the entire Mindanao Island. Various companies in Japan, China, and Korea are looking to participate. Other big-ticket items that are up for grabs are power plants, a container port, tollways and bridges, and special economic zones, all of which are being looked into by our biggest conglomerates including San Miguel, Ayala, and Metro Pacific. Federalism remains a top priority of my administration to evenly spread development. To alleviate the poverty situation, we are implementing development projects in Sulu and Basilan. We have put together a coalition of biggest Philippine companies to invest in infrastructure, business, and agriculture. We invite you to join us and partner with us as we continue to grow the economy because much work still needs to be done. Our vision for my country is to uplift the quality of life of Filipinos, properly nourished and healthy, educated and empowered to address inequality and bring prosperity to all. I still have about 2 hours to go, and may I just add a few words to my, it's not good to be here and to read your name on the crawler just below the TV that Duterte admits killing criminals. Well, in a way, it is true. But that occurred in 1988 when I first became mayor. I've been mayor of Davao City for 23 years. And a congressman once, and a vice mayor to my daughter, and back to being a civilian for a while, and then suddenly I found myself thrust to the presidency. We have a serious problem about drugs. We, as a matter of fact, if I were to read Ian Grillo, who wrote The Cartel and the Criminals about Escobar, on a scale of 1 to 10, the Philippines is about 5.5 to 6 already. And later did we realize that as early as 3 administrations ago, narco politics was thriving in the lower echelons of government. In my city, when I was mayor, I ruled with an iron hand. I've been a prosecutor before I became mayor, and that would indicate to you my penchant really for everybody to observe law and order. I did not, although it was very serious in my city, and mind you, my city got the highest of the local domestic growth. I got about 9, the highest so far in the Philippines. Next to me was just 6. Because I was running the city, which used to be a very arid land during the times of the New People's Army, the NPAs, the communists, killing everybody, including the policemen and soldiers. We used to lose about 3-4 soldiers or policemen a day at the height of the insurgency. So when I became president, I was called out from the prosecution to become the city mayor. I never really wanted to be one, but the political leaders at the time thought that I would make an OIC, officer in charge, vice mayor. There was also a temporary OIC. That was the time when Cory Aquino fired all and considered all positions in government vacant. And she appointed all, down to the last level, the city municipal councilors. I never really wanted to be there because I was dreaming that I would be a judge one day from being a prosecutor. But when I was there, but everything was also there, crime, NPAs and all. And for those who were anti-communist, they were given firearms freely. So many thousands of firearms in the hands of people not authorized to hold them. When finally I was mayor, I struck a deal with the NPAs. I am not a member of the Communist Party of the Philippines, but I tell you that my upbringing, I we have been brought to Mindanao by my father, and it was a long and winding sacrifice. I've experienced our house being demolished, and all the things that a poor guy can encounter in himself. But we made it still, and I was able to finish my studies. So my background was always a socialist. And I never hid the fact that I'm the first left-leaning president of the Republic of the Philippines. But I struck a deal with everybody, including the communists, since we talked on the same wavelength. And I told them that you have to get out of the city. There are so many cities in the Philippines, choose wherever you want to. But not here, because though we talk the same language at times, I go for land reform, I go for profit sharing and all. But I just cannot simply allow you to just kill and kill and kill. I have to have peace. One of the problems with drugs, and here's my statement, and a statement that you heard recently. I told the criminals and the drug people running the industry, I said, go out of my city, or else I will kill you. Do not destroy my city. I will kill you. Do not deprive us of the generation of the new Filipinos, because I will kill you. And that kept my city safe. It blossomed. It's now a beautiful city. You can go around anywhere at the day or night, and I guarantee you nothing will happen to you. Good that the next, my successor, as also my daughter, was the kind of mentality. She's also, I don't know if you saw it, but it was shown on BBC and CNN, with this young mayor punching the sheriff 5 times in the mouth, because the sheriff was presiding over a demolition. And my daughter was busy attending to the victims of flood, which occurred in also a distance away from the city proper. And she told the sheriff, you wait for me, I'll do the talking to the people, so that there will be no rockers of this instance. But the sheriff, without waiting for my daughter, started to demolish. And when my daughter arrived, there were rocks and stones and everything was flying in the air. And there were some warning shots. So my daughter went directly to the sheriff and mocked him. And she punched the face about 5 times, caught on TV. And she will make a good successor. She was once a mayor and she's back again. Not, frankly, I would not have filed my certificate of candidacy had not my daughter agreed to run now. I said, I will not leave the. I've been telling the leaders and I said, no, until my daughter would agree to run. I was late in the filing, I said, way beyond the deadline. I was just a substitute candidate. Because she said yes, somebody offered to withdraw and give me the slot. I did not have any money and never had any. It was a moribund. But let's talk about drugs. So the drug was there. But it was worse in other provinces. But we never really knew the wide scale of contamination. And when I gave the orders to the police to squeeze everybody, we Filipinos and some of you might have seen it on the international network, they were surrendering by the thousands. I never realized, though I was very strict in my city, there were more or less a little bit because of the porous moment. But 2 years ago, the PDEA chief, an ex-general, also said there was already 3 million. And I have not yet added my 1 million because I am waiting for the year's end to make the final tally. And I'm sure I will reach the million mark. And so if I have 4 million drug addicts, and to think that I entered the presidency mid-term, I am operating on a budget that was prepared by my predecessor. Because half of the year he was the president, they only became president last June. So, I don't know if just sweeping it under the rug or not minding it at all. But I said when I became president, the early, I had to fire 7 generals, police generals, because they were into drugs. I said, go out before the election, or else I'll name you publicly. And they refused, and when I became president, they announced it. Even before I took my oath of office, there were already killings. They were into purging and cleaning the ranks. That was not ours. But out of the third 3,000 that died, I would admit to you that these were the results of a gunfight between the police and the drug people. One thing that you would realize when you're facing one, the person seems to be grinding his teeth, chewing a gum close, and he's not normal. Paranoia. That's why every gangster in South America, in Colombia and Mexico, and they are always armed because of the paranoia that people do. And so there were a lot of crimes, rape 1-year-old, 18 months old, killing his own father, killing his own mother, and all the things, and the world simply just looked at it. And also America. They knew it. They are very good. They are the biggest intelligence network in the Philippines. So when I started my job, I told them, and my order was very clear. Go out and hunt for them, the drug people. Arrest them if possible. But if they present to you a violent resistance, especially a resistance that is violent enough to take your life, and if you think that you'll die in the process, shoot first, kill them. And that was a legitimate order. I'm not saying I'll kill you if you destroy my country is very legitimate. Any citizen of any country can say, do not with my country, I'll kill you. Do not destroy the young people, deprive us of the next generation. Because you will produce so many insane guys for my country. And who will take care of the next generation? They are the ones that are the most vulnerable. And many died, and so this is what happened. Actually, it was first orchestrated by the United States. The 3,000 lost, assuming that they were really killed in drug-related cases, including the police encounter. And vis-a-vis with the 4 million that I have yet to treat and to build, I have no money. I was operating on a budget I said prepared by Aquino. Nothing there is said about mass surrender of drugs. Because they never really carried out strong measures of the drug. So it blossomed. The 2 generations, the 2 administrations, I just allowed it to blossom. And worse, even the police generals were into it. So I left with no choice but to just really be strong and to fight it out. And so I said, arrest them. And if they choose to fight, kill them. And, started with it was really a local issue. The yellow, which is the color of the Liberal Party of Marwas and the President, colored yellow in remembrance of the yellow in Aquino, President's father was assassinated. Called it the Yellow Movement. And he continued it, adopted by the liberals. And here comes also the guys from the left. And they agree and demonstrate. But you would notice, the left would never demand my ouster. As a matter of fact, they will cry if I step down. You know why? Because I am one of them. It is the yellow who cannot accept defeat. And they want me ousted. Now, with the kind of ruckus that they were in, they invited the human rights. And my God, I cannot really understand the White House, the State Department entered into the fray. Now, in doing it, they trivialize the 3 million suffering, the 4 million after this year. They trivialize the issue over, and I said, well, I don't know if that's really the case of a rub out, but if it is, then we will charge the police. And they were complaining and they were demonstrating. Of course, she said a few numbers of them. I got the margin over my last opponent, Marwas. I got 15 million more. My margin was 6 billion. And to think they had no money, I had no machine. I only had 2 governors, or ladies. One is Amy Marcos, is she? She is the daughter of President Marcos, the late President Marcos, and a lady governor in Mindanao, because she used to be my love. Not anymore. Of about 72 governors, no municipal mayor, no city mayor. And yet, so what does that mean? They were all national figures. Rojas was a senator and the secretary of trade and the local governments. The other one was a high-profile mayor of an urban city in Manila. The other one was also the 2 other ladies were senators. I was the only establishment guy from the far south, in a corner there in Mindanao. On a clear day, you can see the sun-beating Australians. I came in from the cold, but I won. I made it a point my mission. I have seen a city mayor. The agony starts with this guy stealing your property, the family's property, and then graduate into hold-ups, and they will be into trouble. That's all. It starts with the family dysfunction. Then you have a desperate guy out on the streets, because if he is a user, then he has to be put because he would need the fix every day. And if you're not the son of Ramona or Guyana, you have to stay. And then the cost, the social cost, broken families, potential criminals, and all. And that's what America is. There are 40,000 Americans dead every year in drug-related. Then I said, you worry about this mayor who was, maybe there was a rub-up. Then you cry, and you want the 4 policemen going to prison right away, condemning them before their interpretation. You destroy so many lives. He was the drug lord of Western side. He made a lot, maybe millions of guys there, young, crazy. And you lament over the loss of one son of a bitch. So, guys, where are your values? Here is a mayor. He was a mayor. He even killed these policemen who were against him. And he dies of maybe rub-up. I will admit that is a possibility. And the lamentation of those guys. And America. So, I'd like to close now. Anyway, I'm the only speaker. Yes. So relax. Still have time. We're up to 6 o'clock. We only have about 5 minutes. I was told that I'm good for 6 o'clock. No. Let me give you a little bit of the Oriental ways. The Orientals, if you know that, the Chinese and everybody, except when they're drunk and among or with themselves, especially the Koreans, they're really very noisy. But I'm Japanese, but I'm in Filipinos. But there is a trait in the Orientals. You talk almost in whisper. You do not talk loud. That's our trait. And we say so, especially if you are asking for something. It's more almost in a deep and peace. The Japanese are very adept in this. You can never hear the next guy, they're not hearing. And even the Orientals, we always do it in this way. Now, when America started to go public, the office of the President of the United States, 2 leaders, 2 in succession, and eventually Obama, and the human rights. Let me tell you this. They would want me to stop, they would want me to take control, and they would say, and even about, if you do not do that, we will cut the aid. Now, in the newspaper, we were taken out of the Millennium Challenge. It's in the papers now, I've read it, that the Philippines was removed on the human rights issue. Because this is what I told them. You know, when you offer an aid unconditionally, if you give it to us, and you accept it, we will be grateful. But for you later on to say, that's an Indian giver, give me back my aid, or they would say, no, your subsistence will stop. And some people took it as if you will go hungry. You know, if you talk that way, it is really the height of brusqueness and ill manner. You do not. You do not do that to a country which you conquered for 50 years and lived off of the fat of the land. And you have the thought to say, we will cut your aid. Well, how about the 50 years that you cut it away? The best of our woods. You mined every islander. You had your fill. I said, living with the fact of the land. And then we are giving an aid, a pittance, as if we grow hungry. No. You do not do that. It is as if we were pictured to be a dog on a leash that's tied to the post. And then you throw the bread further and further every time he's hungry. I'm hungry, okay dog, reach for it. You pictured us to be that way. And so I said, Obama, you can go to hell. And you guys are your own bullshit. We will not die if you are not there. So I said, goodbye. So I went to China and I talked to Putin and said, can we have, because the Philippines cannot procure firearms from other country. Even the F-50 jets from Korea. Those are not really Koreans, the technology of the Americans. And the end beneficiaries is always approved or disapproved. If the Americans do not want it, they sold us, correct, the jets we have now. But they do not want to deliver to us the rockets. So what we have now is the jets we about 4, and we place their the
Fighter jet without
a fighter jet without the rockets. They do not say that. You have to go to America, and until now we have not. So what we're doing is putting the one that we use during carnivals and fiestas and independence day. Weekends. Fireworks. Only for display that this guy has the arms. That's the problem. You do not be a word moralist. Do not interfere. And I said, because of your interference, you minimize the magnitude. So, may I say right away, we cannot purchase firearms. And we always dovetail American policies. If he goes here, we go there. If he suddenly makes a left turn, we make a left turn. So I said, no, this time I'm following the new policy. But please understand, this has nothing to do with you or your money. We will never touch it. And in my term, I said, there will be no corruption. I only made 3 promises. No corruption. I will deal with drugs and criminality. The economic factors will come in. That is my experience of Davao City, my city. It just said it's a growth rate of 9. And it's booming despite the fact that we are in Mindanao. You can go, we will protect your money. We are a democracy. We recognize free enterprise. My problem is only Obama, because when I called Trump to congratulate him, he said, and these are the words, and you can ask him, Mr. Duterte, I think our countries are in bad fix. Yes, Mr. President, but not your country. You guys there over in the White House. Yeah, and I said, you're doing it right. Yes, I have a problem here with my boundary here is full of excavators, son of do it. I agree with you. So what does that mean? There's never a constant policy of what? Human decency, human morality. That's the problem in America. It depends on the guy there. He's so much concerned with human rights. He's even forgetting that America is wallowing in drugs. And I said, there is no constant, we stand for this. Come hell or high water. This is it. This is the morality we would like the world to follow. here comes the successor. He has got another, altogether a new different paradigm of how to rule. So at the end of the day, I think it's not about you guys going in. I promise you, I give you my word now, there will be no corruption. If you think that you do not trust the departments, you should have 1-2 years. I have given each and every department executive, from energy to agriculture to defense, 1 month. Exactly 1 month. And the local officials, business permit, electoral connections, 3 days. 3 days. And if you think that you have dealt with these guys before, or the subordinates in the past, and you do not like their behavior, go to my office, give me your folder, I will be your errand boy, and I will be the one to place it in the bureaucratic tree. Come back when it is finished. I'll call you and say, come here and get your paper. That's it. Trying to minimize crime, it's a little bit okay. But to say that the war drug is finished, it will stay. It will stay the policy of a harsh drive of his drug until the last day of my term, when every pusher or drug lord, let me use the word so that they'll be happy, until they are. Secretary Ramon Lopez, the guy who introduced me. Mr. Ramon Ang, President and Chief Operating Officer of the San Miguel Corporation, the famous beer of the Ambassador Antonio Morales, the Philippine Ambassador to Singapore, Congressman Rodolfo Fariñas, I don't know if he's here, nice to see you. The leader of the House of Representatives, Congressman Lord Alan J. Velasco, Governor Jose Enrique Garcia, Governor Albert Raymond Garcia, Attorney Salvador Panelo, the Presidential Advisor, the Presidential Spokesman Ernesto Adelia, movers and shakers of the finance, petroleum and food industries. I think it's all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I have here a prepared speech. It's a very good one. It encompasses all. There's no more to add. But maybe just a few words about the crawler of BBC and CNN says that I have admitted killing suspects, criminal suspects. Maybe later on, if I have the time, I will make some little corrections so that you know the agony and the suffering of the Filipino people right now. I would like to start by expressing appreciation to Mr. Ramon Ang and San Miguel Corporation and Petron for organizing this business call with all of you. I appreciate this opportunity to tell you of the many developments in the Philippines, and to invite Singapore businesses to partner with us as we pursue the development of innovative, job-generating, and inclusive growth in my country. Much of the crime news comes out from our country has been the war against drugs and crime. A war that has won broad-based support among all socioeconomic classes in the Philippines. It is a war that I believe is absolutely necessary if we are to prevent my country from becoming a narco-politic. Over the last few months, we have improved our peace and order situation. Filipinos today generally feel safer and the crime has remarkably dropped, especially in the urban areas. Our focus in solving peace and order has been rewarded by a GDP of 7.1% growth during the first 3 months of this administration. The Philippines is open for business and welcome what you have to offer. We appreciate that Singapore, our largest trading partner and our largest source of investments from ASEAN. We are also encouraged that there is increasingly presence of Filipino and Singaporean companies in our two countries, respectively, as the Philippines pursue sustainable growth and development, inclusive growth that are far-reaching out to the even stronger participation of Singaporean and Singapore-based companies in investments in my country. In particular, we are looking at key growth sectors such as energy and infrastructure. This would mean more investments and encouraging competition, putting an end to protectionism in industries that are monopolized. More competition would be only mean better services for all. The Philippines' attractiveness as an investment economic destination is cemented with investment pledges from China, Russia, Japan, and Malaysia. The key to maintaining our economic momentum is infrastructure. My administration is committed to raise infrastructure spending to 6 to 7% of the GDP, focusing investment on the bottlenecks, more importantly in transportation. That raised the cost of doing business in the Philippines. Already, we have approved open for investment infrastructure projects worth nearly 20 billion, including a long overdue airport and an international port project. Our economic and business sector continue to be generally upbeat due to a combination of prudent macroeconomic and proportional trade and investment policies. There's much stronger consumer base with 109 million population, relatively young, and with a higher rate of employment. Unemployment rate down to 4.7% from 5.4%. This is what we call our demographic sweet spot in the country, enjoys an all and will continue to benefit from the years to come given the young demographic profile. Consumer propensity to spend is set by generally low inflation, low interest rates. We are determined to cut red tape and make our country more business friendly. Our tax reform package, including reducing income tax for individual and corporations, including the value-added tax base and modernizing fiscal incentives more being employed by the business community and foreign investors. To enhance our competitiveness as we preferred investment destination. Much overgrowth has largely been fueled by the manufacturing sector, which has revived it to grow at 6.9, higher than the previous averages of 3 and 4. Agricultural sector likewise turned around to 3% growth after several quarters of decline. The services sector continues to grow at the rate of 7%, principally the business process outsourcing industry and telecoms. We must modernize Philippine agriculture, increase our output to high-value crops, streamline our agricultural supply lines, and move towards value-added process agri-business projects. In promoting peace and lowering income disparities, we are also looking at dispersing growth outside of Metro Manila and supporting the growth of micro SMEs, which account for 99.6% of all registered enterprises. We are prioritizing the infrastructure spending, increasing the budget to 5 to 7% of GDP. China, Russia, and Japan have expressed interest in participating in several infrastructure projects in the Philippines. The biggest project includes a railway system that would connect the entire Mindanao Island. Various companies in Japan, China, and Korea are looking to participate. Other big-ticket items that are up for grabs are power plants, a container port, tollways and bridges, and special economic zones, all of which are being looked into by our biggest conglomerates, including San Miguel, Ayala, and Metro Pacific. Federalism remains a top priority of my administration to evenly spread development. To alleviate the poverty situation, we are implementing development projects in Sulu and Basilan. We have put together a coalition of biggest Philippine companies to invest in infrastructure, business, and agriculture. We invite you to join us and partner with us as we continue to grow the economy, because much work still needs to be done. Our vision for my country is to uplift the quality of life of Filipinos, properly nourished and healthy, educated and empowered, to address inequality and bring prosperity to all. I still have about 2 hours to go, and may I just add a few words to my, it's not good to be here and to read your name on the crawler just below the TV that Duterte admits killing criminals. Well, in a way, it is true. But that occurred in 1988 when I first became mayor. I've been mayor of Davao City for 23 years, and a congressman once, and a vice mayor to my daughter, and back to being a civilian for a while, and then suddenly I found myself thrust to the presidency. We have a serious problem about drugs. We, as a matter of fact, if I were to read Ian Grillo, who wrote The Cartel and the Criminals about Escobar, on a scale of 1 to 10, the Philippines is about 5.5 to 6 already. And later did we realize that as early as 3 administrations ago, narco politics was thriving in the lower echelons of government. In my city, when I was mayor, I ruled with an iron hand. I've been a prosecutor before I became mayor. and that would indicate to you my penchant really for everybody to observe law and order. I did not, although it was very serious in my city, and mind you, my city got the highest of the local domestic law. I got about 9, the highest so far in the Philippines. Next to me was just 6. Because I was running the city, which used to be a very arid land during the times of the New People's Army, the NPAs, the communists. The PDEA chief, an ex-general, also said there was already 3 million. And I have not yet added my 1 million because I am waiting for the year's end to make the final tally. And I'm sure I will reach the million mark. And so if I have 4 million drug addicts, and to think that I entered the presidency mid-term, I am operating on a budget that was prepared by my predecessor. Because half of the year he was the president, they only became president last June. So, I don't know if just sweeping it under the rug or not minding it at all. But I said when I became president, the early, I had to fire 7 generals, police generals, because they were into drugs. I said, go out before the election, or else I'll name you publicly. And they refused, and when I became president, they announced it. Even before I took my oath of office, there were already killings. They were into purging and cleaning the ranks. That was not ours. But out of the 3,000 that died, I would admit to you that these were the results of a gunfight between the police and the drug people. One thing that you would realize when you're facing one, the person seems to be grinding his teeth, chewing a gum close, and he's not normal. Paranoia. That's why every gangster in South America, in Colombia and Mexico, and they are always armed because of the paranoia that people have. And so there were a lot of crimes, rape, 1-year-old, 18 months old, killing his own father, killing his own mother, and all the things, and the world simply just looked at it. And also America. They knew it. They are very good. They are the biggest intelligence network in the Philippines. So when I started my job, I told them, and my order was very clear. Go out and hunt for them, the drug people. Arrest them if possible. But if they present to you a violent resistance, especially a resistance that is violent enough to take your life, and if you think that you'll die in the process, shoot first, kill them. And that was a legitimate order. And my saying, I'll kill you if you destroy my country, is very legitimate. Any citizen of any country can say, do not with my country, I'll say, I'll kill you. Do not destroy the young people, deprive us of the next generation. Because you will produce so many insane guys for my country. And who will take care of the next generation? They are the ones that are the most vulnerable. And many died, and so this is what happened. Actually, it was first orchestrated by the United States. The 3,000 lost, assuming that they were really killed in drug-related cases, including the police encounter. And vis-a-vis with the 4 million that I have yet to treat and to build I have no money. I was operating on a budget I said prepared by Aquino. Nothing there is said about mass surrender of drugs. Because they never really carried out strong measures of this drug. So it blossomed. The two generations, the two administrations, I just allowed it to blossom. And worse, even the police generals were into it. So I left with no choice but to just really be strong and to fight it out. And so I said, arrest them. And if they choose to fight, kill them. And, started with it was really a local issue. The yellow, which is the color of the Liberal Party of Marcos and the President, colored yellow in remembrance of the yellow in Aquino, President's father was assassinated. Called it the Yellow Movement. And he continued it, adopted by the liberals. And here comes also the guys from the left. And they agree and demonstrate. But you would notice, the left would never demand my ouster. As a matter of fact, they will cry if I step down. You know why? Because I am one of them. It is the yellow who cannot accept defeat. And they want me ousted. Now with the kind of ruckus that they were in, they invited the human rights. And my God, I cannot really understand the White House, the State Department entered into the fray. Now in doing it, they trivialize the 3 million suffering. The 4 million after this year. They trivialize the issue over, and I said, well, I don't know if that's really a case of a rub out, but if it is, then we will charge the police. And they were complaining and they were demonstrating. Of course, she said a few numbers of them. I got the margin over my last opponent, Marcos. I got 15 million more. My margin was 6 billion. And to think they had no money, I had no money. I only had 2 governors, or ladies. One is Amy Marcos, is she? She is the daughter of President Marcos, the late President Marcos. And a lady governor in Mindanao, because she used to be my love. And not anymore. Of about 72 governors, no municipal mayor, no city mayor. And yet, so what does that mean? They were all national figures. Who was the senator and the secretary of trade and the local governments? The other one was a high-profile mayor of an urban city in Manila. The other one was also the 2 other ladies were senators. I was the only establishment guy from the far south, in a corner there in Mindanao. On a clear day, you can see the sun-beating Australians. I came in from the cold, but I won. I made it a point my mission. I have seen a city mayor. The agony starts with this guy stealing your property, the family's property, and then graduate into hold-ups, and they will be into trouble. That's why. It starts with the family dysfunction. Then you have a desperate guy out in the streets, because if he is a user, then he has to be put because he would need the fix every day. And if you're not the son of Ms. Ramona or Riayana, you have to stay. And then the cost, the social cost, broken families, potential criminals, and all. And that's what America is. There are 40,000 Americans dead every year in drug-related. Then I said, you worry about this mayor who was, maybe that, he was, there was a rabble. Then you cry, and you want the 4 policemen going to prison right away, condemning them before their interpretation. You destroy so many lives. He was the drug lord of Western side. He made a lot, many millions of guys there, young, crazy. And you lament over the loss of one son of a bitch. So, guys, where are your values? Here is a mayor. He was a mayor. He even killed these policemen who were against him. And he dies of maybe rub-out. I will admit that is a possibility. And the lamentation of those guys. And America. So I'd like to close now. Anyway, I'm the only speaker. Relax. Still have time. We're up to 6 o'clock. We only have about 5 minutes. I was told that I'm good for 6 o'clock. No. Let me give you a little bit of the Orientals. The Orientals, if you know that, the Chinese and everybody, except when they're drunk and home or with themselves, especially the Koreans, they're really very noisy. But I'm Japanese, but I'm really Filipinos. But there is a trait in the Orientals. You talk almost in whisper. You do not talk loud. That's our trait. And we say so, especially if you are asking for something. It's more almost in a deep and peace. The Japanese are very adept in this. You can never hear the next guy, they're hearing. And even the Orientals, we always do it in this way. Now, when America started to go public, the office of the President of the United States, 2 leaders, 2 in succession, and eventually Obama, and the human rights. Let me tell you this. They would want me to stop, they would want me to take control, and they would say, and even about, if you do not do that, we will cut the aid. Now, in the newspaper, we were taken out of the Millennium Challenge. It's in the papers now, I've read it, that the Philippines killing everybody, including the policemen and soldiers. We used to lose about 3-4 soldiers or policemen a day at the height of the insurgency. So when I became president, I was called out from the prosecution to become the city mayor. I never really wanted to be one. But, the political leaders at the time thought that I would make an OIC, officer in charge, vice mayor. there was also a temporary OIC. That was the time when Cory Aquino fired all and considered all positions in government vacant. And she appointed all, down to the last level, the city municipal councilors. I never really wanted to be there because I was dreaming that I would be a judge one day from being a prosecutor. But when I was there, but everything was also there, crime, NPAs and all. And for those who were anti-communist, they were given firearms freely. So many thousands of firearms in the hands of people not authorized to hold them. When finally I was mayor, I struck a deal with the NPAs. You know, I am not a member of the Communist Party of the Philippines, but I tell you that my upbringing, we have been brought to Mindanao by my father, and it was a long and winding sacrifice. I've experienced our house being demolished, and all the things that a poor guy can encounter in himself. But we made it still, and I was able to finish my studies. So my background was always a socialist. And I never hid the fact that I'm the first left-leaning president of the Republic of the Philippines. But I struck a deal with everybody, including the communists, since we talked on the same wavelength. And I told them that you have to get out of the city. There are so many cities in the Philippines, choose you wherever you want to. But not here, because though we talk the same language at times, I go for land reform, I go for private sharing and all. But I just cannot simply allow you to just kill and kill and kill. I have to have peace. One of the problems with drugs, and this is my statement, and a statement that you heard recently. I told the criminals and the drug people running the industry, I said, go out of my city, or else I will kill you. Do not destroy my city. I will kill you. Do not deprive us of the generation of the new Filipinos, because I will kill you. And that kept my city safe. It blossomed. It's now a beautiful city. You can go around anywhere at the day or night, and I guarantee you nothing will happen to you. Good that the next, my successor, as also my daughter, was the kind of mentality. She's also, I don't know if you said, but it was shown on BBC and CNN, this young mayor punching the sheriff 5 times in the mouth, because the sheriff was presiding over a demolition. And my daughter was busy attending to the victims of flood, which occurred in also a distance away from the city proper. And she told the sheriff, you wait for me, I'll do the talking to the people, so that there will be no rockers of this instance. But the sheriff, without waiting for my daughter, started to demolish. And when my daughter arrived, there were rocks and stones and everything was flying in the air. And there were some warning shots. So my daughter went directly to the sheriff and mocked him. And she punched the face about 5 times, caught on TV. And she will make a good successor. She was once a mayor and she's back again. Not, frankly, I would not have filed my certificate of candidacy had not my daughter agreed to run now. I said, I will not leave the. I've been telling the leaders and I said, no, until my daughter would agree to run. I was late in the filing, I said, way beyond the deadline. I was just a substitute candidate. Because she said yes, somebody offered to withdraw and give me the slot. I did not have any money and never had any. It was a moribund. But let's talk about drugs. So the drug was there. But it was worse in other provinces. But we never really knew the wide scale of and when I gave the orders to the police to squeeze everybody, we Filipinos and some of you might have seen it on the international network, they were surrendering by the thousands. I never realized, though I was very strict in my city, there were more or less a little bit because of the porous moment. But 2 years ago,